I have an issue. I have an issue. The issue that I have is that Devin Haney, after he won against Lomachenko, he should not have gotten out of the ring so immediately. Because when Shakur Stevenson won his last fight in his hometown, in Jersey, where he had a large fan base, he called out Devin Haney. And then Shakur Stevenson came to Vegas to this fight between Haney and Lomachenko. And Devin Haney was in his hometown of Las Vegas, where he resides, to my understanding, or at least where he was raised, to my understanding, and he did not counter Shakur Stevenson while Shakur Stevenson was right there after the fight. But instead, he went out of the ring and went in the back. I have an issue with that. I'm going to tell you why. Because we've seen both Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and his father, Bill Haney. They both were in dialogue with each other on social media. I think it was someone else's YouTube channel. Champside, I believe. Somebody told me it was Champside a few months back. Champside. Champside's channel. Okay? Champside's boxing channel. I think that's the name of it. Champside's boxing channel. And they were going back and forth. Looked like it was a FaceTime between Bill Haney and Shakur Stevenson. And then Devin Haney, he popped up on the screen as well. So it was all three of those guys. My point is, there is a long history between these men. And when someone's in their hometown and they call you out as a fighter, and then you go in your hometown and fight as a fighter, you are expected to call that other person out that called you out, especially when you're in the same weight division. Now, someone would say, Manager Marty, I don't see why that needs to happen. Somebody in the chat just told me that was a guy named H Money's channel. Okay, I'm sorry, I thought it was Champside's boxing channel. But it was H Money's channel, according to Big Ray. And who was the other person that just corrected me there? B-Dog. Thank y'all for that. I'm not sure who H Money's channel is right now offhand, but H Money, I thought that was Champside's. So, all right, my fault. So that was H Money's channel. H Money's boxing's channel that spoke on that I guess allowed those three guys to be in the FaceTime. Now, somebody can say, oh, Manager Marty, don't be picking on this person and that person. No, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. I'm the same one. Watch this now. When Errol Spence was in his hometown after he fought Ugas, he called out Crawford, right? Okay. And when Crawford was in his hometown, several months after that fight, he was in his hometown against David Ebenezer. And he was supposed to call Spence out, right? Okay, then. So that's the same thing I'm saying about Devin and Shakur. See, ain't no. I'm a fan of this fighter, so I'm going to sit up here and be biased. No. That's why I always give business perspective first at all times. Business-wise, Errol Spence called out Crawford while he was in Texas after he fought. Crawford fought David Ebenezer in his hometown in Nebraska after he fought. He's supposed to come right back at Crawford. Crawford was supposed to come right back at Spence. Shakur Stevenson in his hometown, he won. Right? He won. Called out Devin Haney. Devin Haney was in his hometown, right after Shakur fought. But he didn't do the same thing. I have an issue with that. Especially when y'all both had private conversations on the phone and y'all was on a social media platform going back and forth. So it's only right after you fight, even if the fight's not going to happen next, just to build a promotion, to get the paying viewers, motivated to want to dig in their pocket and buy it. That's promotion. Because I told y'all before, and I'll tell you again right now, fighting on regular ESPN or regular Showtime is totally different from fighting on ESPN Plus or pay-per-view and Showtime pay-per-view. Why is it different? It's different because a pay-per-view audience is a different audience than regular casual fans who's watching just on regular network. Totally different. This is why Terrence Bud Crawford can go on ESPN, regular broadcast, and get 2 million views fighting Kell Brook. He can fight someone else, get 1 million views. But when it's time for pay-per-view, he doesn't sell that well. Because there's a different type of audience that you're making an appeal to. Okay? So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let's move on to the interview.
Bob ain't said his name.
I didn't. Yeah, Bob hasn't said his name at all. But
stop. Bob ain't say his name. See, this is the issue that I'm having again. This is not a shot at them. We talking about business. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Because when Crawford did this, I said the same thing about Crawford. And I'm going to say the same thing about them. Remember when Crawford said, they keep asking me about Boots and Ortiz. Their names never came up. Remember when Crawford said that? Okay. I criticized him. So Devin Haney and Bill doing the same thing. There's not no knock on them. I'm just keeping it all the way on it. Oh, Bob ain't never bring his name up. Or Bob didn't call us. Or Bob. Y'all your own bosses. Just like Crawford said. Well, he said he was his own boss, right? Devin and Bill say they're their own bosses. So don't nobody have to come to you first and call you up. Want to know why? I'll take my glasses off for this one. Because this is talking about managers. Because Shakur Stevenson had good representation. Doesn't he? Shakur Stevenson, doesn't he have a manager? I hear crickets. Yes, he does. Jay Prince is his manager. So why do Bob Arum got to make a call and bring their names up if all Bill Haney got to do is pick up the phone and call Jay Prince, the manager, and get the deal done? See how simple this is? I'm just keeping it all the way 100. We got to call a spade a spade. Thank you for contributing to the channel again, Toon. Thank you. Toon says, is it worth Tank fighting Haney? Even though he said he was staying at 35 for the rest of the year, they both free now all of a sudden. He can't make the weight. That was from Toon. So we don't want to hear, well, Bob ain't never called us and tell us. Their names never came up. That's the same thing Crawford said. Their names don't have to come up. Shakur already called you out in his hometown. That's good enough. He's in the 135-pound division. That's good enough. Y'all have a history together. That's good enough. That's 3 points. And point number 4, Shakur Stevenson have a good manager in Jay Prince. That's good enough.
Bob ain't said his name. My phone ain't ringing.
But no.
See? Bob ain't say his name. That was Bill Haney. Bob ain't say his name. My phone ain't ringing. Your phone ain't got a ring. Not from Bob. Now, if you would have said Jay Prince ain't called me, then I could have understand you saying that.
What's the name? Of course, I've been very vocal about that. Me and Shakur are on a collision course. Whether it's at 135, whether it's at 140, whether it's at 147, we definitely on a collision course.
Time out. We're on a collision course. Whether it's at 135, whether it's at 140, and whether it's at 147. The fans, the paying fans. Remember, I'm talking about pay-per-view, y'all. I'm talking about this is how you build a promotion, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roller Tape film crew. You don't build a promotion with a Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney, waiting for both of them to get finished at 35, get finished at 40, and then compete at 47. Absolutely not. Shakur Stevenson just got to the 135-pound division. So the likelihood of him moving up to 140 is very slim. The likelihood of Devin Haney moving to 140 is great. Strong possibility. There's a disconnect there.
And we definitely going to get it on when the time is right.
Devin, congratulations. I have a question. Given everything you go through to make 135, what you've admitted.
Stop. He said, we both, let me rewind it. Hold on.
Short of a fight against one of those names you met.
What's the name? Of course, I've been very vocal about that. Me and Shakur are on a collision course. Whether it's at 135, whether it's at 140, whether it's at 147, we definitely on a collision course. And we definitely going to get it on when the time is right.
When the time is right. Well, when will the time be right? I'm not saying that he should fight Devin. I'm not saying Devin should fight Shakur next. I'm not saying that. But he said when the time is right. So I'm trying to figure out what would be the right time. I'm not saying it should be next, but I just want to know when will be the right time.
Devin, congratulations. I have a question. Given everything you go through to make 135, what you've admitted, short of a fight against one of those names you mentioned, or a Tank Davis or a Shakur, if those fights are not possible, would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out.
Stop. If I can't get those fight next, he was asked about Tank and Shakur. And if those fights don't make sense, I just want to stop it right there. Why wouldn't a fight with either one of those guys make sense? Now, someone can make a case and say, well, Shakur just got to the division, so it might not be ripe now. Cool. But it makes perfect sense to fight Tank Davis next. Yes. There's no possible reason that it would not absolutely make sense. Not if you are a free agent, because this was his last fight with Top Rank, right? Okay, great. So he's a free agent again. He's not locked into a promotional agreement with any other promoter, as I know of today, when I say free agent. So the time is perfect now. It's always going to make sense. Anybody that fight Tank Davis is always going to make sense. Know what kind of sense it's going to make? Dollars and cents. Tank Davis can fight Hector Garcia, and it's going to make sense because Hector Garcia is going to walk away with a big payday. Might not make sense to Tank fans. Tank Davis can fight Isaac Cruz next. It's going to always make sense. Might not make sense for some of the boxing fans, but it's going to make dollars and cents. Promise you that. If Devin Haney fight Tank Davis next, it's going to make a lot of sense. Dollars and cents. So when Devin is saying it has to make sense, it makes perfect sense. It's going to be Devin's biggest payday, and he's going to get the biggest exposure that he's ever got as a professional boxer. And we all know that both of those elements are true. So it's going to make sense. Dollars and cents. It's called prize fighting. So him not fighting Shakur or Tank don't make any sense, especially Tank. So my personal business hypothesis is that Devin Haney should fight Tank Davis next. Now, there's an even more tumultuous relationship between Tank Davis and Bill and Devin Haney compared to Shakur. Because while Tank Davis was promoting his fight with Ryan Garcia, we got to keep it all the way on it now. Bill Haney was on other people's social media platform here on YouTube, and he was throwing a lot of shots at Tank Davis. I seen like a 20-second video where he was in some kind of store or something. I don't know, it was a clothing store, a jewelry store, some kind of store. And he was throwing shots at Tank even more. You know, I'm not going to repeat some of the things I remember him saying, but my point is, y'all can't be beefing with people, and when the time is right to fight them, say it's got to make sense. No, it makes a lot of sense, especially when it's back and forth going on. Oh, yeah. It makes a lot of dollars and cents.